Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today we are presenting about our group assignment that the title is unemployment in Japan. So first of all, I would like to introduce our group members. So me, Muhammad Manager Najib, and my partners Muhammad Imran Hakimi, Muhammad Anas bin Basharuddin, Muhammad Faiz bin Muhammad Razali, and Muhammad Fawaz bin Dewasan. Okay, so for the table of content, we have 4 sections. For the first section is for introduction. In introduction, we are discussing about unemployment in Japan. For the second one is discussion of the issue. Our issue is unemployment in Japan and factors and how it affects the issue. The third one is measures to use overcome. And in this section, we are discussing about strengthening job matching through public employment services. And the fourth and the last one is for the conclusion. So for the introduction, first of all, let's begin with an overview of Japan's current economic landscape. As the world's fourth largest economy, Japan is globally recognized for its advanced industrial sector, technological innovation, and highly skilled workforce. Historically, its labour market has been characterized by low unemployment and a deep-rooted culture of stable, long-term employment. However, severe demographic shift, namely an aging population and declining birth rates, are heavily restricting how the labour market functions today. So for the background of unemployment in Japan, to give some context, even after the economic stagnation of the 1990s, often called the lost decade, Japan unemployment rates remain relatively low compared to other developed countries. This was largely due to strong job security and a cultural emphasis on workforce stability. But in recent decades, a shrinking population and growing proportion of elderly citizens have shifted the problem from a lack of jobs to a severe lack of workers. Today, industries like healthcare, manufacturing, transportation, and hospitality are facing massive challenge in supply filling vacancies. And for the next case, this bring us to Japan's recent microeconomic environment. Currently, it features a tight labour market with an unemployment rate hovering around 2.5%. On paper, this reflects high demand for workers, which has naturally pushed companies to raise wages to attract and retain talent. But as we will see next, this wage growth isn't affecting everyone equally.
So I would like to talk about challenges that have been faced by one of the countries is Japan. So Japan is facing two big problems: an aging population and very low birth rate. If we look at global fertility rate, Japan is clearly in the low group. This happens because of three main reasons. First, modernization. Japan focus a lot on technology like robotics, transportation, and others, but less on family policy. Second, late marriage. Many people marry after 30 years and often they don't have children. In fact, about 28% of women born in 2024 are expected to remain childless. Third, the high cost of raising child. Surveys show more than half of couples say expenses, especially education, stop them from having children. At the same time, Japan's economy shows fragmented wage growth. Big companies can raise wage above 5%, but small and medium firms, which hire most workers, struggle with cost and labor shortage. This creates a two-tier economy, strong growth at the top, but bankruptcies and instability below. So Japan's demographic decline and uneven wage growth are connected. Fewer young workers, more pressure on small firms, and a tough challenge for the government to balance modernization with family support.
For another two factor, it's economic uncertainty and rising of cost living. For the economic uncertainty, it happens when business and consumer are unsure about the future of economy. In Japan, slower global demand reduced exports, especially for automobiles, electronics, and machinery. As a result, companies become more carefully by delaying hiring, reducing investment, and relying more on temporary workers. This increases the risk of unemployment, especially for young graduates. For rising cost of living, it means that prices of goods and services become more expensive in Japan. This mainly because of inflation, weaker yen, and higher energy costs. As a result, households spend more on food and transportation and electricity, while business face higher operation costs, and this reduces people purchasing power and slow economic growth, contributing in Japan declining GDP.
Japan overcomes unemployment by strengthening its public employment service mainly through Hello Work under the Ministry of Health, Labour and Welfare. Hello Work helps job seekers by providing job vacancies, career counselling, resume support, interview guidance and job matching services. This is important because unemployment can happen not only due to lack of jobs but also because of skill mismatch and weak access to job information. Although Japan's unemployment rate is low, around 2.5% in April 2026, the country still faces challenges such as an aging population, shrinking workforce, and difficulty for some groups to enter employment. Japan also supports specific groups such as new graduates, women, elderly workers, people with disabilities, and foreign workers. For example, employment centers for foreigners help non-Japanese workers find suitable jobs. Besides that, Japan provides vocational training and reskilling programs to help unemployed workers gain skills needed in growing sectors, such as technology, healthcare, elderly care, manufacturing, and services. Overall, this policy is effective because it provides both short-term and long-term solutions. Hello Work helps people find jobs faster, while training programs help workers become more flexible and ready for future industries. Another important measure Japan uses to reduce unemployment is vocational training and reskilling programs. These programs help unemployed workers develop the skills needed by current industries, reducing skill mismatch between workers and employers. Japan provides training through public training centers and the Job Seeker Support System, which offers free vocational training, financial support for eligible participants, and career guidance through Hello Work. This ensures the training is linked to real job opportunities. This policy is important because Japan faces an aging population, labor shortages, and changing industry demands. Reskilling allows workers from declining industries to move into growing sectors such as technology, healthcare, elderly care, manufacturing, and services. Overall, vocational training is an effective long-term solution because it improves worker skills, increases employability, and helps build a more competitive, adaptable, and future-ready workforce.
Today, we will explain how the Japanese government can reduce the impact of the rising cost of living by using an expansionary fiscal policy. Expansionary fiscal policy means the government increase its spending and reduce tax to help people and businesses during difficult economic conditions. For example, the government can provide subsidies for electricity and gas bills. This helps households spend less on energy. The government can also give cash or cashless assistance to low-income families so they can afford essential goods such as rice, cooking oil, and eggs. Another solution is to invest in renewable energy such as solar and wind power. This will reduce Japan's dependence on imported oil and natural gas. In the long term, it can lower energy costs and reduce the impact of changes in global energy price. The government can also provide grants or financial assistance to local businesses. This helps businesses manage higher production costs without increasing the price of their products too much. In addition, the government should offer tax incentive to companies that increase employee salaries. Higher salaries help households cope with the inflation and increase their purchasing power. In conclusion, expansionary fiscal policy can reduce the cost of living by supporting household, businesses, and investment in renewable energy. That's all from me.
So for the conclusion is, Japan has a low unemployment rate compared to other major economies, but it faces big challenge and aging population, declining birth rates, and fewer opportunities in rural areas are causing the country's workforce to shrink. So for the solution is, to fix this, Japan is investing in employment services like Hello Work, vocational training, and reskilling programs. They are focusing on high demand fields like healthcare, technology, and elderly care to build a flexible workforce.